Hi, friends. Welcome back to your practice. I am Katie Arnold, and today is our Core and Restore yoga class. So, we are actually going to combine a core focused vinyasa flow with a gentle and restorative practice for one complete, full body, beautiful class. And I think you guys are really going to like this. We're going to fire up the core. We're going to engage the core. We're going to build some heat in the body. And then we're also going to slow it down, and we're going to do it all in about 30 minutes or so. For this class, you are going to need 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, you can use multiple pillows. That will work as well. If you have blocks, though, I highly encourage you grab them. All right, before we get to this class, I do have to ask, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I would be so grateful if you would hit the subscribe button below. If you would like this video, comment below. Let me know how the class went. Let me know if you like this core meets restorative class. And if so, I can happily bring more to you. If you haven't already, make sure you grab the free mindful movement yoga class calendar, also in the description below. That class allows you to learn the practice of mindful movement, of tapping into where your body is at each day and choosing a class, a yoga class, a movement practice to meet where you're at. So if you haven't already grabbed that, make sure you grab that below. And otherwise, roll out your yoga mat, grab your blocks. I'll meet you guys there. All right, so we will get started in a child's pose. You can bring those knees out nice and wide, big toes towards one another. Bring the forehead down on the mat. Reach those arms forward, palms pressing down. And let yourself ground down here. Let yourself release to integrate and come into our space, into our practice. No need to hold on to the belly. Let it gently relax between the thighs. Maybe you gently rock that forehead from side to side, massaging out your third eye, that space between your eyebrows, that place of intuition. That space that is likely what brought you to this practice today, that helped you decide that this core and restore class was just what you needed. It was just the practice to meet your body where it's at. Let yourself start to build that Ujjayi Pranayama breath. So that inhale through the nose and that exhale back out through the nose. Feeling that slight constriction at the back of the throat, inhaling through the nose and pushing it back out through the nose. So continuing this audible, oceanic sounding breath through this practice, letting it guide the movement, the flow. Let it build a little bit of heat in the body. Help it fire on that core. Next inhale, press yourself up to your neutral tabletop position. And keeping those palms down, just setting up this neutral tabletop. So that elongated spine, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Press into that left hand. Inhale, sweep that right arm up and open. And exhale, thread the needle. That right arm is going to come underneath the left. That right ear comes down to the mat. That left arm can stay right in front of the face. You can reach forward towards the top of your mat, or maybe you take a gentle bind, wrapping it behind that low back. Keeping those hips elevated, breathing into the space that we're creating, breathing into that right shoulder. Last round of breath. First, plant that left hand back in front of your face. If you moved it, press into the palm. Inhale, sweep that right arm back up and open. And exhale, bring it back down to that neutral tabletop, taking that over to the other side. Inhale, sweep that left arm high. And exhale, thread the needle, sweep it through. Left ear down to the mat, right palm stays there. It reaches forward. Maybe it's the half bind. You try on whatever you did on the other side. And then you stay here. We breathe together for about 3 rounds of breath. If you move to that right hand, first plant the palm back into the mat. Press into the hand. Inhale, left arm sweeps high. And exhale back to your neutral tabletop position once again. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, coming through cow pose. Exhale, belly button to spine, chin to chest for cat. Inhale through cow, heart shines forward, gaze is going to come forward. Exhale through cat, spine rounds, let it pull up towards the space above you. Inhale, that belly drops. Exhale, the spine rounds. Take about 3 to 5 more breaths to move at your own pace of this cat and cow. And as you do so, I want to invite you to take any additional movements that might feel good here. I really like to gaze over my shoulders one at a time as I come into that cow pose. You could also sway the hips side to side. You could take some barrel rolls with the hips like you're cleaning out a peanut butter jar. These are all ideas. So knowing that you can try them on, you can see what fits today and every time you find your way onto your mat. Next, inhale, come back to that neutral tabletop position. And then inhale, reach that right arm in front of you like you're about to shake somebody's hand. And then when you're ready, exhale, send that left leg back behind you. Flex the toes down towards the mat. Feel that instant fire, that instant engagement in the core, and pull that belly button a little bit closer up towards the spine. Keep that gaze down so you keep that spine elongated, that neck is neutral. Breathe. Breathe from that left heel all the way up the spine through the right shoulder and down to those right fingertips. Take one more inhale, reach long. And exhale back to your neutral tabletop position. First inhale, send that left arm forward, thumb up towards the ceiling. When you're ready, send that right leg back. Flex the toes down towards the mat. Take a couple breaths to just build some balance. And then start to really feel that core engagement. Breathe from the left fingertips all the way down through the right heel. Feel the entire physical body starting to turn on. So we're already tapping into that core engagement that's required. We're going to start to build that heat here. Take one more inhale. And exhale back down to that tabletop position. Curl those toes under and send your hips high, downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out those heels, bending one knee, bending the other. Breathing into the entire backside of the body. We're waking it up. We're turning it on. On your next inhale, start to bend into those knees, shift the shoulders forward. Don't let the knees drop all the way down to the mat. So my knees are just hovering about an inch off the mat. We're in our bear plank. So pull that belly in, core engagement. Spine neutral, keep the gaze down towards the mat. Breathe, 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 breathe. It's okay if you're shaking. I'm here with you. I'm shaking too. One more full round of breath. Can you stay for the inhale? Exhale, send those hips high, down dog. Walk it out again. Take a big breath in. Exhale, walk your hands to the back of your mat, finding a forward fold in the back of your space. Feet can be hips width distance, maybe a little bit wider. We'll take a couple breaths just to be in this forward fold. So you can gently sway side to side. You can grab on to opposite elbows. You can let the hands be heavy. Take what you need out of this down dog, but can you release anything that you're holding on to in the neck, in the shoulders? One more round of breath. You'll toe those feet back to hips width distance. Press your hands into your shins. Inhale, gentle halfway lift, long spine, core is engaged. Exhale, fold forward. Root down through those feet. Inhale, stand all the way up, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Exhale, pull the hands down through heart center. Inhale, reach those arms high. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward. Inhale, up halfway, lift. Exhale, walk the hands all the way out to a high plank. So palms pressing into the mat, heels pulling towards the back of your space. Pull that belly button up and in. One more big breath in. Exhale, drop the knees to the mat, slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Keep those hands right underneath your shoulders. Pull those elbows in close to the side body. Inhale, baby cobra, head lifts, chest lifts. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press it up through your tabletop. Exhale, back high plank. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, walk those hands to the back of your mat, forward fold, back of your space. Inhale, up halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, stand up, sweep those arms high. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, walk it out, high plank. Take a breath in and either stay here or shift those shoulders forward. Exhale, lower halfway down or all the way down, chaturanga optional. Inhale, upward facing dog, or if you're on your belly, that baby cobra. Exhale, back downward facing dog. Take a full round of breath. Big inhale. Exhale, walk it back, forward fold, back of your space. We'll take that one more time through, building a little bit more heat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, pull the hands down through heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up high. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at the hips. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, walk it out, high plank. Inhale, stay here, shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way or halfway. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, back down dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Few more rounds of breath. Reconnect with what brought you on your mat. Reconnect with your life force, this breath, this energy, this vitality. Inhale, send that right leg high behind you. Exhale, bring that right knee to that right elbow, crunch it in. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, step that right foot all the way through in between your hands. Set up a nice strong foundation in those feet. Inhale, sweep those arms up, crescent pose. So that right knee is tracking over that right ankle. That core is strong and engaged. Big breath in, reaching up through those ring fingers. Stay for your exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, open up, warrior two. We're working on about a heel to arch alignment in those feet. Still lunging into that right knee, but now our hips are open towards the long edge of our mat. Let the shoulders drop down the back. Flipping that front palm, inhale, reverse your warrior, reaching up and back. Exhale, side angle, let that right elbow come down onto that right thigh. Left arm now reaching up towards the sky. Full round of breath. Stay here or start to reach the left arm forward, bringing the bicep by your ear. And then maybe that right arm starts to reach forward as well, like you're holding a beach ball in between those arms. Feel that core fire on. Feel that shake start right away. Big breath in. Big breath out. Can you stay for one more inhale? Exhale, low lunge. Hands frame that front foot. Drop that left knee to the mat. Heel toe that right foot all the way over towards the outside of that right hand. It's on the edge of that right, or the edge of the right side of your mat. There we go. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more breaths. Start to heel toe that right foot all the way over towards the left side of your mat now, coming into a half pigeon. So that right knee is behind that right wrist. Sit up nice and tall. Extend that left leg all the way behind you. Square up the hips. And then you can either stay on tall arms, or if you want to, you can come down onto those forearms. You could always grab one of your blocks, put that down, and then rest your forearms there as well. You have those props available for you. Breathe here for about 5 breaths. How can you create a little bit more space with your breath? If you did drop down onto those forearms, first come up to tall arms, moving any props out of the way, curling those left toes under. Just make your way back, downward facing dog. I'll give you about 3 breaths here. If you want to take a flow, you are welcome to do so. This is your practice. If you don't want to take any more chaturanga flows, that's just fine too. Hang with me in this downward facing dog and breathe. Get out of this down dog what you need.
Next inhale, send that left leg high behind you. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, crunch it in. Inhale, send it back, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through in between those hands. Build that strong foundation in the legs, and inhale, sweep those arms high, crescent pose. Engage that core. If you feel like you're on a tightrope, I want you to heel toe that left foot a little bit more to the left side of your mat, so we're more on these railroad tracks. Breathe into the opening. Breathe into that strong foundation. Breathe into that core. One more inhale. Exhale to that warrior two. Arms out to a T. Take a peek down at that left knee. And if you see it caving inward towards the big toes, I want you to think about gently opening it up so it's more in line with the fourth and fifth toes of that left foot. That right foot is no more than parallel with the back edge of your mat. Last round of breath. Flipping that front palm, inhale, reverse your warrior, reaching up and back. Exhale, side angle, left elbow comes down, right arm reaches. We're here for a full round of breath before we add that beach ball. Stay here, inhale, right bicep by the right ear. And then maybe that left arm comes up, holding that imaginary beach ball in between your hands. The core fires on, the legs fire up. So that breath becomes even more important. It creates energy, but it's also going to help calm the nervous system. One more inhale. Exhale, low lunge, hands frame that left foot. Start to heel toe the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Right knee drops. Breathe into this lizard lunge. Final round of breath. Start to heel toe that left foot over towards the right wrist, softening that left knee to the mat. So now we've got this half pigeon pose. Hips are square with the space. Start by elongating through the spine. And if it feels good, coming down onto those forearms, or once again, you have those blocks. You can use those props any way that'll support you. We're here for 5 breaths. So can you simmer in this space? First, coming back up into tall arms, curling those right toes under, making your way back to downward facing dog. Last chance to flow here, or once again, if you want to stay with me in this downward facing dog, we'll be here for about 3 breaths. So anyone who's flowing, go ahead and flow. Meet the rest of us back in this down dog. And then everyone can soften their knees to the mat. Grab one of your blocks, and we're going to take a supported downward facing dog for about a minute. And I'm going to recommend bringing it to the highest height. If for some reason you don't have a block at home and you're using pillows or something else to replace the block, then you might need a few to stack them up high enough. And then we're going to come into our downward facing dog, and you're going to find, you might kind of have to walk out your down dog a little bit to find the place where that block can essentially rest right at your hairline. And then once you find that spot, it can be a little awkward at first if you've never taken a supported downward facing dog before. I have come to really love and appreciate this pose more than I ever thought I would. And in fact, I used to believe that you couldn't have a supported downward facing dog, but I've now played with it enough that I really enjoy this posture. So one of the things that I'm going to suggest is to bend those knees. Like you might have a little bit of a micro bend in your normal downward facing dog, but I want you to like really bend those knees. Try to take some of the work out of the legs. You have this block here to support you. And then just breathe. Breathe into the entire back side of the body. Believe that this pose can be supportive. Play around in a way to find the way that it is supportive for you. Final couple of breaths. When you're ready, start to bring those knees down to the mat at first. Bring that block to the lowest setting. Then just find your way into a child's pose and slide that block underneath the forehead. I like to bring my arms kind of around that block, my palms pressing into one another. I want to invite you to take some cleansing breaths out of an open mouth. If that supports you, if that helps create more space, encourage you to release something that you're ready to let go of. We built all this fire in our core center. And with that fire, maybe you found that you were burning something off, a limiting belief you've been holding on to, a thought that's been holding you back. So we've had that burning, and then now we need to release that thought, let it out of the body through that exhale. Almost like smoke on a fire that's kind of taking the ashes away with it. And pressing yourself up. We're going to grab both of those blocks and you're going to bring them just so that they're going to be available. We're going to lower down onto our backs. You just want to make sure that you're in a space that you can grab those blocks. So first bring those knees into your chest. Maybe you take a couple gentle rocks side to side or a circle of the knees. Just a little gentle massage to that low back. Now bring those knees into the chest and let both of them fall over towards the right. Gentle supine twist. Maybe gazing up towards the ceiling, or if it feels okay in the neck, over that left shoulder. If your knees aren't getting all the way to the mat, you can one of those
Use them underneath the knees as support, or be between the knees for support. Just a reminder that those blocks are here to support you. So allowing it to support you, right? And now let those knees come back up through center and dropping them over to the other side. Now that right shoulder can come out of, or that right arm can come out of the right shoulder. Gazing towards the sky or over the right shoulder. Breathing into this gentle supine twist. And finally, bring those knees into your chest. We're going to grab those props. We're coming into a Supta Baddha Konasana or butterfly, a supported butterfly posture. So bring the soles of your feet together. Knees are going to come out nice and wide. You're going to grab those blocks and just slide them underneath the upper thighs or knees. You could just decide how open your knees are in this Supta Baddha Konasana, partly by where you place those blocks, but also which height you place them at. So finding the version that feels really nourishing for you, that feels supportive. And I want it to feel more supportive than it does an actual active stretch. So once again, if you don't have blocks and you're using pillows or something like that at home, you can just stuff a pillow or two underneath each knee. And then I like to bring one hand to my heart, one hand to my belly. You can release that Ujjayi Pranayama breath, so that nose to nose breathing. And allow the breath to shift into just a natural, gentle, easy inhale and exhale. Something that you don't need to try and manipulate, change, control, anything like that. And the Supta Baddha Konasana is our final resting posture today. It is acting as our Shavasana. So I'm going to leave you here for several breaths. Allow it to be restorative, to nourish your body, mind, and soul. And to be a place of peace, ease, and rest. Take a big breath in through the nose And a big sigh out of an open mouth. Pull those knees in towards one another. Move your blocks out of the way. Go ahead and roll onto one side, finding a fetal position. Gently pressing yourself up, finding a nice, easy seat. Rooting down through the sitting bones, lifting up through the crown of the head. Inhale, sweep those arms up nice and high, palms meeting overhead. Pull them down through heart center. Maybe a gentle bow of the head. Thank you so much for joining me. Om Shanti, Shanti Om. Peace, peace, peace.